Well, hello and good afternoon. It's me, Flylady Kat, and I'm here today to help you have peace in your life, control in your home, and to finally learn how to love yourself. Today we're going to talk about caretaking and elder care. These may not be topics of things that you are needing to do in your life right now, but you never know when these things may occur, or at some point you may be the one being cared for. So let's discuss it today. I'm going to take a few minutes to say hello to everyone, and then we'll get into the meat of our subject today. I see people jumping on, so I'm thinking we're going to have some talk. Okay, so D Cruz 22 says, oh my gosh, very appropriate today. Shella K, hello. Kathy Conrad, hello. Janet Solorzano, hi. Hi. Gosh, it's getting a bunch of people are jumping on. Shirley Gendreau, hi. Polly Dolly, what did you say? You looked after your husband for 7 years? Good thing to discuss. Good, maybe you can add some things. I'm looking for everyone's wisdom in this because I'm not the only one, right? Tracy B, hi. Melanie Mozikian, hello. Susan Kambalu, hello. Second time you've seen me live today, or at all. Judy Spiegel, wonderful, great topic. Angela Lee, hi. Laurie A, good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Casey J, hi, great topic. Pat Fisher, hi. Susan Kambalu, at all. Hi to everyone. Kambalu, I guess that's right. Penny Neighbors, hello. Lindsay Van Dusen, mother-in-law may have early Alzheimer's. My husband and her sister are worried. Looking forward to what you're sharing today. Hugs. How wonderful. Mary Conley, hi. Not that she's ill, but how wonderful that you're investigating that. Debbie Fulganidi, hello. Good to hear your perspective on the subject. Great. Carlin Kulop, hello from Estonia. Jackie and Company, hi from Ireland. Jay says, happy Super Sunday. That's Jasmine. Erin Brewer, hello. Flylady Kat, hello Erin. Style by Christina, hi. Anne from Denmark, hello. Katonya Agua, hello. Penny Neighbors, hello. Happy Sunday. Amber Leeming, hello. Anne Fran, 9093, hello. My goodness, people are just pouring in. Melanie Mozikian, father-in-law is 98. Can't wait to hear your message. Wonderful. Caffeinated Mama from New Jersey, first time catching me live. Welcome. Melissa Aaron Ramsey, hello from Melissa in Maine. Love catching you live, especially twice in one day. Wonderful. Okay, that's it. It's been 2.5 minutes, so I'm going to stop and we're going to start talking about caretaking and elder care. First, let me preface this by saying, oh, thanks, Kathy. First, let me preface this by saying I do take care of my parents, as I've mentioned before. I have 2 living parents, 86 and 87 years old, mentally wonderful, okay? They just have bodily issues. Their bodies are getting older, and it's a challenge for them, and they need help. So I pronounced it, oh, wait just a second. Susan Kambalu, I pronounced it correctly. Your parents are keeping an eye on your granny, who's age 94. Forward to hearing. Oh, good. Hi, Roxy Wolf. Okay, I can't talk anymore. Got to get this out because this is important, and I don't want to be on here so long. But they're great. They just need help, right? So they need 24-hour help. So my 2 sisters, so I'm blessed to have 2 younger sisters who are equally committed, and we take care of our parents for 7 days a week for the whole 24 hours each day. So we leave our homes, we leave our spouses, and we go and we plant ourselves at our parents' house and we take care of them. So I'm not doing this for recognition. I'm not doing this for kudos. I'm doing this because I love my parents and I want to take care of them. I have griped in the past, and I'm sorry that I have. I haven't to you, but I have to others. And the one thing I've talked about before is when you're married, and we'll just start it here. When you're married, I always say, if you have something negative to say about your spouse, don't share that with friends and coworkers or family members, because when you do, you don't ever tell them that it's over and how wonderful it was to get over that little hump and how great you're doing. You know, you just fail to tell that part, and then the next time you're aggravated, you just blab it again and blab it again, and what happens is you start hearing negative talk back. And it changes you, because what you hear, you have to guard your heart. So what you hear changes your perspective, right? And so I was always very blessed that my husband never did that, and he and I vowed we would never do that. So in general, I would say I never did that. And when people met one or the other of us, they would always say, wow, we've heard such great things about you from Kat or from Larry. And that made me feel good. I'm sure it made him feel good. And it encouraged us instead of discouraging us. So when we have a challenge in our life, whether it's a child that we have to take care of that's a challenge, or a parent, or a spouse that needs taken care of, we need to guard our hearts, number one, by being careful about what comes out of our mouth, because our tongue is the rudder of our ship, right? So the first thing I want to do is to warn you not to talk negatively about what's happening, because I want you to change your mind and change what's really happening, and that really will work. So what I've written down is focus on the positive. That's the number one thing. Focus on the positive. And that means there's big things and there's little things. There's big things. Sometimes you can't get big things, but let's just say there's big things. The big things are a sense of humor, some kind of strength. Maybe they got over a surgery, or they were able to really learn how to walk again, or some big things that cause you joy, right? And then there's the little things. And these are the little nuances that unless you love someone, you won't pick up on. And that's the little look of gratitude, or the little look of, well, I wrote some things down, little looks of trust, or even a look of helplessness, a smile, just that general gratitude. The big things would be if they said, gosh, and my parents do say this, thank you so much for taking care of us. We don't know where we would be without our daughters. But then there's sometimes when they aren't able to say those things, and there's just a look of gratitude, just a little look. Or sometimes they're scared, something's happening and they're scared. It's the middle of the night, you've had to call the ambulance, and they're scared, and you're holding their hand and you're reassuring them, and you're trying to keep them both calm. And that look, that's something, right? Okay. So I want you to be positive instead of all the negative things we can say, because I'll tell you, the reason we say those negative things is because we get tired. You get tired doing the same thing over and over. You get tired of being told how to make a sandwich, right? You get tired of just those little irritations of things that you're totally capable of doing and you don't need instruction, right? And so the main thing I'm going to recommend that you do when you're in a caretaking position is that you take care of yourself. Again, just like I tell you with your children, it's the same thing when you're doing elder care or any type of caretaking. You must take care of yourself. You must get rest. You must eat right. You must drink your water. You must get some exercise. You must rest your mind. These are important things. Now, it's hard if they've woken you up in the middle of the night several times, or just once, and you just couldn't go back to sleep. The next day you're tired. It's very important that when they take a nap, you take a nap, just like you would do with a baby. Now, these people that you're caring for are not babies. That's the difference, and that makes it a little harder. They're not babies. They feel the same way you do on the inside. No matter how elderly they are or how impaired they are, the core of them, the soul of them, feels like you. How would you want to be treated? How would you like it if somebody was rude to you or dismissed your opinion, right? Because they're legitimate. Those opinions are legitimate. If they have Alzheimer's, eventually they will lose their facilities, and it's a very pitiful thing to watch. But in the meantime, in those little bits of light, capture that. Embrace that in your heart, right? I have never had to care for a person with Alzheimer's, so I'm looking forward to your positive insights on that. But I have cared for my friend Margaret, who is probably watching this, who has MS and is basically in a wheelchair, and she can move one hand a little bit, and she's at home. She has a caretaker a couple times a day, but she's at home. I've taken care of her before. And of course my parents and my mother at different times in her life has needed care. And I've taken care of children. Everybody needs taking care of, and one day I may not need taken care of, but if I do, I want to be the recipient of that care where I can appreciate what that person is doing for me. So I'm learning from this as well, all right? Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you. It's been about 10 minutes. I hope that was helpful, but I am looking forward more to what you wonderful girls are about to share with me about caretaking. We'll start with Anne Fran, 9093. My mom is 88, and I've gotten more of a feeling of oneness with her now than when she was younger. It's tough yet beautiful. Absolutely, Anne. That's a wonderful way of putting it. My grandparents are having a real hard time. My family's trying to do right by them, but it's not easy. The 5 children don't 100% agree on the direction of their care. Yeah, that is probably one of the hardest things, is coming together as a family. And there needs to be a leader. So somebody has to step up and say, this, let's vote. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do the majority if everybody doesn't agree. And listen, make sure you're listening to hear what the other people are saying. You want to hear what their perspective is, right? Okay. Anne said, I love listening to you because of your heart. It helps me a lot, Kat. And that's wonderful, Anne. Elaine Buckland just laughed my head off with the making of a sandwich reference. So true. Same thing over and over. I tried to do card making with Mom, if only to ask her about color. She's 95. Well, that's wonderful, Elaine, and I'm glad that you're taking care of your mom. That's good information. Polly says, I agree with everything you said. I remember those moments, and yes, with children, I had 2 preteens with very disagreeable mother-in-law as well as a responsible full-time job. It's not selfish for you to ask for help. After he passed, we were so grateful for every moment. I'm sure you meant she. Yeah, I know, that's so true, Polly. Debbie Fulganidi said, do unto others as you would do unto yourself. That's true. That's absolutely true. Anybody else had any experience with this? I know I have fly babies who have had parents with Alzheimer's. I have one in particular who's an artist who actually is getting ready to have a show of paintings that she did as a result of her father's influence from his Alzheimer's. So it's put a facet in her life, and so even at a time when a person is altered in some way, they can affect your life permanently in a good way. So isn't that wonderful that every soul has a purpose? I know, it's so exciting. All right, I'm looking for more comments. I don't see any coming up, but I noticed when I was with Larry in the car this morning doing their earlier live video that he had things that came up that I didn't see. Linda Stokes, my mother has had Alzheimer's. The best thing to do is go along with what they're saying. It keeps the anger down. I worked with others that had Alzheimer's when I worked in home health. So go along with what they're saying. Okay, that's good to know. Jackie and Company, thank you for your wisdom. I care full-time for a teenager with disabilities. Yeah, and so you're just looking for those little things and not to share the negatives. It doesn't mean that you won't experience negatives, and you do need some place to vent that stuff a little bit, but just make sure you're not sharing it with the general population, because it's a negative thing for you, because if they don't know the whole picture, you're going to get negative feedback, okay? But you're welcome. All right. Elaine Buckland said, I made fidget quilts and donated to hospice. Oh, that's really wonderful. I'd had known about them when my dad was living. That's wonderful. Is that for Alzheimer's, fidget quilts? I'm thinking maybe. Nana Grace, very good advice, Linda Stokes. Judy Phelps, hello, Kat from Tallahassee. Julie, we just went, I was driving through today. I don't know if you know. I think you were on this morning. Yes, you were. My Tallahassee lassie. We got off on 196 and got a Wendy's chicken sandwich, and I thought about you. It's called Capital Circle, I think. I was wondering how to contact you, but I didn't know how, or I would have said, hi, come meet me. Curly Kiki, I feel that as women, we're always caring for someone. Our children grow up and leave us, and then our parents need us. The Lord made us with special ability to care for others. Thank you for this. You're very welcome, Curly Kiki. Lindsay Van Dusen, my grandmother lived in her home until age 96. My mom stayed with her at times. She noticed when Grandma had a soda, she got wackadoodle. When she didn't have much sugar, she was sharp. Good point. That's a very good point. I get wackadoodle when I've had too much sugar. Casey J, it's a very real experience for them. Exactly. Caffeinated Mama, I've had a hard time balancing. I take my mom 3 times a week to dialysis while taking care of 3 little ones. My kids are too young to appreciate me, and my mom isn't good at saying thank you. That's okay. Look for the looks. Just look for the looks or the little hugs. Or you create that. You create it. Give her a hug. You know, people crave touch. They crave touch. And if you're a widow and you haven't had a good hug in a while, you know, it's when my mother is upset, I find the very best thing for her, and if she's watching this, you know it's true, Mama, is a big hug. It's good for me too. It's a healing thing. Just a big hug and an I love you. And my dad doesn't say I love you, and it's okay. I don't tell him much. He knows I love him because the way I treat him, the way he treats me, and I think that's what he wants. He's uncomfortable for some reason, but I still hug him and give him a kiss on the forehead. And he knows I love him. And I'll say I love him from time to time. But you don't want to overwhelm. Some people are just, they're different. I don't know why. Where was I? Okay, so that's for you, Caffeinated Mama. Laurie, don't rush and be calm with those with Alzheimer's, especially early on. Sometimes they need extra time to retrieve their words and they get so frustrated in the process. I don't have Alzheimer's, but I lose my words and I have my whole life, and I know that feeling. And my dad and mom don't have Alzheimer's, and Daddy will lose a thought sometimes, and we have to wait, and I just wait. Just like a person who stutters. You know, you don't want to rush a person who stutters, and having been in a call center my whole life, you just learn to relax, slow down, and when you do that for some reason, a person who stutters generally can get their voice back and talk calmly. They just get nervous, and I think that's what happens when a person loses a word. They get nervous because they want it so bad, and they're searching and their brain is going. So it's best just to relax and, you know, keep talking like it's nothing. Okay. But that's for Alzheimer's, and thank you for that, Laurie. Elaine Buckland, zippers, buttons, elastic, a lot of examples on Pinterest. Okay. Susan Kambalu, my friend's mom had Alzheimer's. She described those fidget quilts, different sensations, and how helpful they were. Isn't that funny? Kind of reminds me of the 3-year-olds my daughter teaches a preschool, and they have, I don't remember what it's called, but it's for different sensations, like they'll have a sandbox, a little sandbox inside, and they put little things in it for the season, and the kids can touch it and feel it and talk about it. And it's almost the same thing, isn't it? I guess the brain works the same way. You're welcome, Casey. Polly Dolly, Caffeinated Mama, I sure appreciate you for all you do, and those little eyes are watching. That's right. And thanks for reminding me to tell her that. That's right, Caffeinated Mama. They do appreciate you. They just don't know how to express it. They wouldn't know what to do without you. Capital Circle Northeast. Yes, Julie. By the way, if you haven't had a Wendy's grilled chicken sandwich, they're delicious. Gidget Swim 72. Just popping in. And glad I caught you. I'm glad you caught us too, Gidget. Debbie Fulganiti. My sisters and I are doing your Flylady zone cleaning once a week at my mother's home. It helps her feel better because she can't do it herself. That is so sweet. I know she does appreciate that. Two Marbles. Good afternoon, Two Marbles. I haven't seen you in a bit. Jackie Longnecker. My husband is 82 on a walker or cane. He's so easy to please and care for. My mom is 89 and lives in a nursing home. It takes everyone there to care for her. So many highs and lows with her. Yeah, everyone is different, and the way their brain is affected by age is different. There are people my age who are old, and there are people my age who are young. And it's the same with every single person. So your husband is young in his brain. You know, even though he has to use a walker or cane, he's got a lilt to his brain, so to speak. And some people just don't, and they find it very hard to age. And that's what I want to learn how to do. I want to learn how to age gracefully based on what I'm learning by caring for others, right? I want to learn how to accept aging gracefully. Okay, let's see. Did I miss something? Golly, I love that you guys are telling me all this wonderful stuff. All right, here's next. Alexa McClinney, how do you handle it if you have an elderly family who doesn't want care or help and would rather be left alone, but you can see they need it? Leave them alone and go over and see them every once in a while. Maybe bring them some food every once in a while and keep asking, would you like me to do anything for you? You know, I've got an afternoon off on Friday. Do you need me to take you to the doctor? I've got, you know, just keep offering, but let them be. And if that's what they want to do, it makes them feel, I know it's hard and it's scary to see, and I see people all the time that I think, oh my goodness, that poor thing. What are they doing at the grocery store by themselves? What are they doing driving that car? Why isn't, or even out to dinner with their family? And I'm thinking, what in the world are they doing? That person needs to sit down. Can't they see? You know, I don't know. Everybody's different, and the family dynamic is different, and every human being is different. And sometimes they want to be independent, even if they can't be. And you just have to let them be. And I know that's not good, but sometimes you just have to let them be. All right, let's see what I've left. And I hope that's good. I hope that's good advice. I don't know that that's good advice, but it seems like good advice based on my experience. So that's for Alexa. Susan Kambula, exactly the same thing as did children. I can't remember what that was about. Okay, Gidget Swim. Are you thinking of sensory spaces or centers? Yes, called a sensory bin. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. And it sounds kind of the same. Not exactly, but it kind of the same. Shelley K. In the future, I will have to take care for my parents and in-laws. My husband and I are concerned. Your advice is reassuring. I'm so glad, Shelley. Susan Kambula, as for children. Caffeinated Mom, thank you, ladies. Ann K. I have taken care of both my parents full-time when they were dying. It was the hardest thing I have ever done, but I'm so glad and thankful it was possible. I'm so glad you did that, Ann, and that was an honorable thing to do. Julie Phelps. But listen, if you have elderly relatives or people in your life that aren't elderly but require care, and you are unable to emotionally or physically, and you've put them in some kind of care, that's okay. I don't want you to feel bad about that. Just because we're talking about doing this caretaking, it requires caretaking there too, because you have to go see them, and you have to be that advocate for them, and you have to make sure people are taking care of them. My mother-in-law was in a nursing home. She was out of state, and we would go and see and be the advocate, and it was tough. And but I worked full-time, and she required full-time care, and my children were young, and I couldn't do it, so she had to be in care. And it was in a great place, but sometimes you can't do personal care. You have to put them somewhere. So if you're listening to this, I don't want you to feel bad. It's like a person who's breastfeeding versus bottle feeding. Nothing's wrong. It's all right. It's all right. It depends on your situation. So I want to stop right now if you're thinking that, if you're watching this and thinking that. No, I don't want you to feel that way. And these things that we're saying still apply. Because even though a person is in a nursing home, they still aggravate you. And they still give you those little looks that just break your heart. And they still require your love and touch, right? So I want you to just listen. Don't feel bad. All right, let me go back and see what I've dropped out. That was Anne and Julie. Okay, my granny went through this is Julie Phelps, different times. All you could say is yes, ma'am, and she would talk about things we had no idea what she was talking about. Sometimes we were her neighbors or siblings. Well, bless her heart. But you said yes, ma'am, and you know it made her happy, and that's good. Me and my sister always help out my parents. That's good, Christina. I know it depends on the age of your parents too. Well, it doesn't. It depends on the physical and emotional and age of your parents, because sometimes parents are elderly at different ages. Like I said before, good morning, Georgianne Collette. A vascular doctor recently changed my life by telling me if I want to age gracefully, ... What? I'll have to wait and see what you say. Live a long, healthy life, stop eating animal products, oils, and fats from my cooking. You know what? Maybe that will work for you. I have a vascular doctor too, and he told me to eat healthy oils and fats. So I guess that's the same thing. All right. If your mother lives far away, says drop everything and visit me now, go. I told my mom I had a doctor appointment and she died. Oh, Roxy, I'm sorry. But you know what, Roxy? Sometimes you can't drop everything and go. You may have a job that requires you to stay there. And if there's not a reason, you can't go. And if she did die, I wouldn't want you to feel guilty about that, Roxy, or anybody here. If you can go, of course, but if she lives far away, you might not even have the funds to do it, or your car might not be in good shape. Sometimes that's what happens when we live far away from our family. And I'm sorry for that. I am sorry. Okay, let's see. Sincerely. And that was Roxy. Okay, Susan. said she was sorry to hear that, Roxy. Lori, A, driving the car, ugh, my mother with balance issues will go out with my dad driving who has Alzheimer's and says it's okay because she can get him back when he forgets. We need to take the keys. I've had to take the keys before from my dad after he's had some major surgeries and the doctor said don't drive, and I love him, but he's very hard-headed, and it was not fun because he wasn't happy when we did that. But we were able to do it until he was well enough to do it again, drive again. When people lose the ability to drive, they feel that they've lost their independence. And if you can give them independence in other ways and also take them for rides in the car often, they want to just get out of the house. So maybe that's something you could do. But you know what? I always ask the doctor, and the doctor always surprises me by saying, yeah, he can drive. It's like, okay. Or no, I wouldn't recommend it right now. Wait till his blood count gets up or whatever. It's like, okay. And you just have to put him in the Lord's hands and put angels around him and let him go. Sometimes you have to do it. It's very difficult to get someone to say a person can't drive. And when they go to, here in Florida, when they go to the driver's license place, they just test their eyesight and they take a written test. Nobody has to do a driver's test, or I haven't ever seen it happen. I've seen people go in that I'm amazed walk out with driver's licenses. So be careful when you're out there driving and look around who's around you driving in traffic. Okay, let's see what else. Oh gosh, girls, I'm gonna have to hurry. Let's see. I'm looking. Okay, here we go. Jackie Longnecker. Yes, on being an advocate for nursing home patients. Yes, on the aggravating part. Yeah, it's hard. And you have to go there often because, you want to make sure they're being fed properly, and because sometimes they can't feed themselves, and if people aren't feeding them, they're not eating. I know there's just different things you have to be careful with. I want to move to Florida. This is Marie Mack, where my grandchildren moved to in 2015, but my mother's 85 years old and in good health, and I know she doesn't want me to leave. I really want to be there for her out of respect for her, and we are good friends. Marie, here's the thing that I have to say about that. Nothing ever stays the same. Nothing ever stays the same. Make sure you go visit your children often and your grandchildren often, as often as you can. Georgianne Collette. He noticed her arteries were damaged with Doppler tests and told her to give him 3 weeks eating just plants, and I would see drastic improvements. He was right. It's been 6 months. Good for you. I'm glad you're healthy. Polly Dolly, I have to go, but do what your heart tells you, and that's all you can do. Bless you for all of your kind care. That's right, Polly. That's what you have to do, and you'll know, your gut will tell you sometimes what you really should be doing. Nana Grace, before my parents moved in with me, I would call and tell her on such and such a day I'm coming by to do her laundry. Okay. She liked that. My mother still likes to fold it. I'll wash it, but she folds it. Not all of it, just little towels and things. One of the biggest blessings of my life was being with my father for 6 weeks after my mother passed. We wanted him with us so badly, but his anxiety prevented it. I hated to go home without him. I'm glad you were able to do that. Mystical Heart is sorry, Roxy. Georgianne's doctor is telling her he totally did not want her on anything but vegetables. Okay. Nona Grace, if I asked if there was anything she needed me to do, the answer would always be no. Yeah. So instead, you're just saying, here's what I'm doing for you. Not, what can I do something for you? And that's a good point, because they're ashamed. I think they're ashamed that they're unable. My mother tells me all the time that she can't believe she can't do such and so, or when I did this, like when I pulled the weeds or when I cooked that meal, this is how I did it. And, it's been years, but it's still in her head. Okay. That's right, Roxy. Sometimes when they're very old, they know they're going to die soon. And that changes the way they think. And sometimes that's depressing for them. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes they're ready. But if they're not ready, it's depressing. Ginger Rogers, mom, 90, lives with us for 19 years. She has some dementia, doing well. We keep her engaged during the day. That's wonderful, Ginger. And hard. That's good, Georgianne. I'm so glad for you. I just started taking, what did I start taking? Something for cholesterol, and mine dropped 50 points, so that was great. Andrea Martins, taking care of my grandparents and 3 kids and a 7 and 2 3-year-olds. That's tough, but you can do it, because you can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens you. Don't forget that. Turby Taco. I'm sorry. All right, let's see here. Mama remembered the words to Amazing Grace even in the late stages of Alzheimer's. Isn't that amazing? Music is sometimes really beneficial for the elderly. And even for us, even for regular folks, music makes us feel better. So that's a good thing to incorporate. She could sing with me, and I would get her ready for church in the nursing home, and she couldn't remember our names. Bless her heart. Mom sewed all her life. Color and pattern appealed to her. This is Ginger again. And a sewing room here. She's working on the never-ending quilt. She loves cutting fabric and putting patterns together. Kayla Canessa. My dad is 82. He doesn't have Alzheimer's. He just thinks that he's allowed to do whatever. He's stolen my car keys a few times when he visited and crashed my car into my brother's. Kayla, I would say that would require some firm but kind conversation. Firm but kind. Alexa McClinney, it was getting really scary. My grandpa would fall, and he and my grandma didn't want to call emergency services to get help, but he would rather lay for 6 hours on the floor than get help, and then would not want to tell a family either. Yeah, they never want to tell when they fall. Everybody's different, babe. All right, it's been 31 minutes. I hope that this was helpful to some of you, and that you can put it away for for helping someone else if it's not for you. Just keep it in your mind, but remember to look for the little things, change your attitude, look for the gratitude in ways that may not be verbal, okay? All right, I think I have 2 more things that are on here. Marie Mac's father said, nothing stays the same. He's gone now, and I'm in no hurry for my mother to go. She's a pastor, and she says she loves life, but she's ready anytime God wants to take her. Carol Kane, I know you know about my mom, 99, has been living with us for 20 years. You shared a lot about caring for your parents that really helped me, especially nothing stays the same. Isn't that funny? That's 2 people who've talked about that. Alexa McClinney, you're very welcome, honey. Mystical Heart, I worked in assisted living for some years and learned that even with dementia, emotion memory remains intact. They're aware of love. Right. Ginger Roberts, we've embraced the experience as a blessing. You're very welcome, everyone. You're very welcome, Susan and Melanie. Yeah. All right, girls. Have a fabulous day. Remember that you are powerful, that you are able, that you are so precious, that you are loved, and that you are beautiful. Have a wonderful day.